Hi, everyone. I know, it's me and I'm talking. No, it's not AI. This is really my own mouth moving right now. This is the first time you've heard my voice, which is so crazy after all these years and everything we've been through together. But this is my voice. So, hi, my name is Whitney Dafoe. It's nice to meet you all in a new way. I want to read you my latest bit of writing and start talking to you a bit more often, and I'm really excited about it. So to start off, this piece is called Talking Again in 2025 by Whitney Dafoe. I started eating again in 2024 after 11 years not eating a crumb of food or even drinking a drop of water. I got all fluids and nutrition from tubes inserted into my body for 11 years. In 2025, I have another big improvement to announce. I have started talking again after 12 years of not saying a word to anyone. 12 years. It has been truly amazing. A slow process, though. It started when I slowly started feeling like I could talk again, but my stress response was still very high about talking, and it was hard to breach that stress wall and say those first words to someone. I first talked to my best friend, who I'm really close with and comfortable with and feel very safe with, so my stress levels are a lot lower with her. I practiced talking to her on calls and video calls for about 6 months before I talked to anyone else, and actually before I even told anyone else that I could talk. And then I moved on with a few more close friends. I went really slow. It was hardest with my parents and caregiver, interestingly, because of the incredibly high stress I have been through with them in the past during my sickest years. My stress response seems to be still high with them, sensing a danger response likely due to PTSD mixed with a messed up fight or flight response at ME/CFS. You know how it goes. But I'm now talking to everyone. It is so much easier with my caregiver to just tell her what I need instead of pantomiming every little thing for sometimes a long time until she figures it out. It's such a relief. And I can have conversations with friends and loved ones, which has just been amazing. I recently said goodbye to a lifelong friend who was dying, and I got to talk to her on the phone and tell her how much she means to me and the impact she's had on my life and how wonderful she is, and then say goodbye. And it was profoundly sad, but it meant so much to me that I got to talk to her and say goodbye at all. She's not online and she doesn't text, so it would have been so devastating not to have that last connection with her. I also recently had a 2-hour meeting with my parents about a new project for Ron's lab, and I was tired afterwards, but I didn't have PM from it. And talking just feels so good and natural and so human after all these years. Relating to people in a much more direct way has been incredible. And I'm really happy to be able to tell you all this. I sometimes stumble a bit, as you can see. It's like my mouth and tongue just aren't as coordinated as before, but that's been getting better. And otherwise, it is now easy, and very interestingly, it feels kind of natural, like I never stopped talking. Though I like to think I sound much wiser now. I truly believe that none of the symptoms of ME/CFS are permanent, excluding possible damage from COVID. But keep in mind that COVID research is still very new. 5 years, 5 years after HIV was discovered, we knew almost nothing about HIV. And that's where we are with COVID research today. Some of the current research is surely accurate, but it is true without question that there are more unknowns than knowns at this point, and we should take current research findings with just a few grains of salt and certainly not lose hope because of them. But with regards to the frequent talk and worry on social media of permanent damage caused by ME/CFS, throw brain scans at me all you like. the brain can rewire, adapt, regrow, repurpose, etc. And we know nothing, next to nothing about the brain. Some very specific, simple test about something we know very little about is proof of nothing. Every single doctor thought I would never get my stomach function back. And now I'm getting all my calories from eating real food. And no one expected me to start talking again. But here I am. I don't know how my stomach started working again or how I started being able to talk again. It's most likely from Joshua Leask's Born Free protocol, but I'm not positive about that. I started his protocol right before these changes started to happen, and nothing else was changed in my medication or physical routine at that time. So I feel confident, but not certain his protocol is responsible. The Born Free protocol is very complicated, though, really overwhelming for most people, myself included. But hopefully there will be better guides put together in the near future, including AI-generated question and answer sort of things for some of the more basic elements of the protocol, and as well as training doctors to help patients through the protocol. But please don't just run out and start doing this protocol blindly or push yourself into it. It needs to be done in the right way, in the right order, or you could severely harm yourself. And it is still experimental and may not be for everyone. Remember to always listen to your body and do what feels right to you. I'm making a video of this post for all of you to see me talking and to celebrate. You've never heard my voice before, and that is totally crazy, but I'm excited to change it. I don't completely know what I will do with video content going forward, but let me know what you would like to see in the comments. I'm definitely going to be adding videos of me talking in some way to my current content and advocacy work. I'll probably start with some very raw and honest video diary type things with just one take where I talk spontaneously about how I'm feeling and aspects of life with ME/CFS. Probably a lot of me grumbling in the morning. And I would love to make edited videos with multiple cuts and different angles showing different aspects of my routine and my life. But that requires setting up a tripod and, hitting record and looking at the angle and changing the camera a bit and, changing the angle. It's just a lot of work, and on top of editing all those cuts together. And it's just too much work for my current state of health right now. There's a lot of accounts that claim to be run by one person who make a video every, 2 days with multiple cuts and angles and perfect color and perfect editing, and they're actually run by film crews. I'm a filmmaker, and I know how much work it takes to make videos like this. And I say this not to attack these accounts, but because I think most people believe that making these videos just takes a couple taps on a phone and it just all sort of happens. But in truth, it's a technical and involved process that involves a lot of artistic intent and time. And I just want to explain why I can't make edited reels like that for you all and for the cause of ME/CFS, because I would love to. If I was healthy, even if I couldn't make 2 every day, it would be so great for advocacy and awareness. But I don't have a film crew, and I'm too sick to do it on my own. And also too sick to tolerate constant film crews in here. I also want to add video recordings of me reading my posts in addition to the audio version so people with different sensitivities can still read, watch, or listen to my writing. Thank you all for your never-ending support. It has meant so much to me all these years. Improving from severe or moderate ME/CFS is possible, and you can come back from even the deepest, darkest hole of hellish ME/CFS. I have experienced it. Now I just need to get my brain back so I can think a little better and maybe get out of bed. I'm sending all my love to all of you. Okay, we're behind the scenes now. And I just want to tell you how tired I am. It's a lot of work. It wasn't just one take. It was, you didn't see me swearing and having to start over. And my face is all red. When I got COVID, I got some infections, and I'm still working on trying to get rid of them. They keep coming back. But that's real, ME/CFS isn't a Hollywood movie. And I think our definition of beauty kind of comes from Hollywood. But they have so many people working to make them look like that. Makeup artists and hairstylists and costume designers, even just like trying to make sure their hair doesn't look too perfect, I mean, and this is real. CFS is real. There's cracks in the concrete, but those cracks are what define true beauty. And it's also important, I think, to provide context about the before and after of when we display bursts of energy like this. Sorry, there's a mirroring effect with this little jig I have, and I'm still getting used to it. But you don't see all of the resting I did before this video or the resting I'll do afterwards. You just see this energy expenditure, and I think it can look like I'm just talking away all the time, but I actually just texted someone and said I couldn't have a planned phone call with him because I just worked on this project and don't have the energy. And I spent a whole day's worth of my energy writing that piece, and then it was another day I spent editing it, and I spent a month just trying to figure out the gear, and then I was ready. But then my health collapsed, and I had to wait 2 months to have just one day where I could make that video. And you don't see that, and you also don't see me afterwards. I'm going to be just resting after this. I'm gonna, I'm gonna be in that state where you don't have enough energy to even survive, and it's going to take a lot of recuperating. So I think it's important to provide that context. Sending love to you all.